Al-Zahrawi Part 2. After a century or more after his death, his fame began to expand throughout the Islamic world, from Andalusia to the Levant. The historian of doctors in the Levant, Ibn Abi Uzayba, said about him, Caliph bin Abbas al-Zahrawi was a distinguished physician, expert in single and combined medicines, good at treating, and had famous works on medicine. The best of which is his book known as Al-Zahrawi, and one of his books is Kitab al-Tashrif for those who are unable to compose, which is his largest and most famous book, and it is a complete book in its meaning. Al-Zahrawi lived as a seemingly poor doctor, ascetic, loving medical students and his profession, describing them in the introduction to his book as his sons, devoting his time and effort to helping the poor and the sick. This great book, Al-Tashrif for those who are unable to compose, provided us with 30 articles on medical sciences and anatomy, pharmacy and the pharmaceutical industry, the most important of which is the 30 article on surgery, which is considered the pinnacle of development and the medical revolution that Al-Zahrawi introduced in his time. Al-Zahrawi's medical philosophy was based on the fact that a skilled doctor cannot be a doctor unless he has complete knowledge and comprehensive study of anatomy. He says, because the medical industry is long, and its owner must first become accustomed to anatomy, because whoever does not know what we mentioned about anatomy, it was not without his chance that he would make a mistake that would kill people. His interest in anatomy and its study was a reason for the great breakthrough that was achieved by him in the science of surgery, in addition to his inventions of surgical instruments. It was strange and striking that anatomy was a science despised by him. 5. So Al-Zahrawi came to dispel these illusions, and to be one of the first doctors to perform surgical operations with their own hands, as doctors before him had delegated this task to their male or female slaves. The surgical operations that he performed on his own over the course of half a century or more gave him a great deal of experience, much of which he recorded in his book Al-Tashrif, which he also wrote over the course of half a century. Al-Zahrawi was the first to introduce drawings of organs and the skeleton in his books, and the first to draw machines. He explained how it is used in medical literature, and included 200 forms of it in his book. Al-Zahrawi was also the first to describe the method of removing foreign bodies from inside the esophagus using a sponge connected to the outside of the mouth with a strong thread. He was the first to reform the methods of amputation operations. Doctors before him had only amputated the diseased section, but he recommended cutting into healthy tissues at a distance from diseased tissues.